Argentina has confirmed their place in the semi-finals and they have a date with England to decide who makes it to the final. In my eyes, I think they've been sleepwalking into this final. You may call it a slow burner or whatever people make of it, but they have certainly arrived again at the semi-finals, and we wait to see if they make it to a second final and if they can actually repeat what has not been done before in the last 50 years. In this video, I'm going to break down the game between Argentina and Switzerland. My name is Eben, the channel is Beyond the 90. Let's go. So the game between Argentina and Switzerland ended 3-1 in favor of Argentina. I mean, the scoreline doesn't paint a full picture of the game because this is a game that went into extra time. Switzerland were reduced by one man after the 69th or 62nd minute. And I'm going to jump right into the controversy or lack of controversy, if you ask me, before I go into the game proper. Now, Mbolo received a second yellow card after having received the first yellow card in the first half, which effectively meant that his team had to play the entire extra time and the entire 30 minutes plus left in the first half. So essentially 60 minutes without him. Now, I've seen videos after the game, people calling it FIFA robbery, what have you. I mean, certainly people have made up their minds about Argentina in this World Cup, and so they need no convincing. So those are not the people I'm trying to reach out to. But if you look at this decision objectively, I think it was the right call. It's not the first time it's being used in this World Cup. People are saying that this is the first time it was invoked. No, if you watch USA versus Paraguay, which was the first game USA played in this World Cup, there was a yellow card that was handed out to the USA center back. His name currently escapes me, but the veteran, and for a supposed foul on Miguel Almiron, and it was reviewed by VAR. The ref was called to the screen, and then after reviewing, Miguel Almiron actually dived. He was trying to con the referee into giving a yellow card to Tim Ream. That's his name, the US defender. And so there's precedent. Now, Mbolo had already received a yellow card in the game earlier on for incidentally for a foul on Paredes, and for the second yellow card as well, it was him and Paredes. So Mbolo drops himself to the ground like he's been hit by Mayweather's right hook, or he's been hit by Manny Pacquiao's left hook. He just dropped to the ground, held his knee, was tumbling on the ground, like rolling as though something had happened. His bench were pretty irate, and Paredes looked confused because Paredes was not even in the picture. He got booked by the referee, and with the new VAR protocol, if there's a case of diving, they call it mistaken identity, and the referee mistakenly issues the card to the player who is deemed to have caused the foul, they have to run it back. And so the referee was called to the monitor, and it was shameless. I mean, Mbolo's dive is probably the worst dive I've ever seen, because he wasn't in the box, so there was no advantage to it. At the time he got the yellow card, the second yellow card that is, Switzerland were on top of Argentina. They had just scored. They were coming into the game. They were beginning to make moves. And so that dive honestly didn't make sense to me. It was really, really naive. And he was quite distraught after he received the red card. You know, he broke down in tears, and he has to blame himself for that decision. I mean, I think it was just a moment of lack of concentration. And I don't know if he was aware if he had a yellow card or not. Regardless, I think, yeah, that was poor from him. That was really, 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 really poor from him, because there was no contact, none whatsoever. If there was contact and he was trying to make a meal of it, I can see it, but there was no contact, zilch. So he let his team down, actually. Now into the game proper. Argentina scored in the 10th minute there, a cross from Messi, hit the head of McAllister. I mean, they had the first corner, actually. Messi crossed. McAllister made connection with the ball. It was deflected for another corner. And Messi crossed, and guess we went right back to McAllister, and this time he found the net. And I think Switzerland were poor in their marking on that goal. The game progressed. Argentina were kind of just like passing the ball around. They were content with the 1-0 lead. They just kept the game as it was. In the second half, Switzerland came out big, and it was Ngoy, I think, who, had an excellent 1-2, dribbled into the box and placed the ball right under the feet of Dibu Martinez to level, and they had become even Stevens. And then right after that, the brilliant Bolo red card happens, and so completely sucks the life out of Switzerland. They did well by going the first 90 minutes without conceding any more, but it was just a matter of time for the dam to break, and it did break. After the first 15 minutes in extra time, Julian Alvarez scored a banger of a goal. What a way to announce yourself on the scoring sheet in this World Cup. It was such a beautiful goal. And then in the dying embers of the game, there's a rebound that fell to Lautaro Martinez, and he buried it to make it 3-1. Now on Argentina, I think they've been sleepwalking their way in this World Cup, and I don't know how they've made it to the semis, because they look like they don't really, I mean, to be honest, apart from France, nobody has looked really that convincing in my eyes. I think the difference between the 4 that have made it to the semis and the rest of the team is that they can go a notch higher, or they can switch into another gear. England, for instance, can play pretty dull in large stretches of the game, and then just in a moment they just switch into another gear. Maybe because they have talented players, they get the chance to do that. It's the same with Argentina. They just slow movement in the game. It's like a slow cooker. They take very long. They just pass the ball around. They are in no hurry. They play as if they are very sure of what's going to happen. I mean, credit to them that anytime they need to dig deep, they do it and they find the goals. But I'm not really convinced with the way they are playing. Certainly against England, that midfield 4 would have to give way for a creative player to come into the game. I also don't know why Simeone is not playing, because they certainly need pace in this game, and they rely on Nico Gonzalez and Thiago Almada, who are both teammates of Simeone at Atletico Madrid. But the funny thing is that in Atletico Madrid, it is Simeone who plays and they are on the bench. But for the national side, they are first and second choice ahead of him. So, but be that as it may, I think Lionel Scaloni would have to work something out different. I mean, he seems like a very loyal guy, and he's sticking to his guns, staying loyal to the guys who did it for him 4 years ago. But 4 years on, with no Di Maria, he has to change something and bring pace into the team, because their team is really slow. They take a long time to get the ball up the pitch, and against England, I don't think that style is going to really work, because England has athleticism, they have power, they have skill on the wing, and they can hurt you. So, well, maybe they are just content doing what they are doing, and so he doesn't see the need. But I feel like he needs to switch something up. To Switzerland, better luck next time. I mean, they did the best, or they got the best out of the game given the circumstance, but for the red card, it could have been another story. But let me know what you think in the comment section. My name is Eben. The channel again is Beyond the 90 channel. Thank you for joining me, and bye.